Like many of you, I'm a parent. My little pumpkin pie's name is Miranda. And the most rewarding part about being a parent is not telling your child what they can and can't do. It's about parenting. It's about mentoring, guiding, and enabling them to have that rich and fulfilling life. Now, the challenge of delivering that intensifies in a digital world. I mean, how do you parent, not govern, in a digital age? I thought a lot about this, and I had a sobering realization for myself. Despite spending my entire career in high tech, if I don't make drastic changes right now, I will not be fit to parent. I will not be fit to parent for my daughter in the digital world that she'll call home. Because that digital world, I will look like an outsider. Now, why does this matter? Take that child you love so dear, place them freshman year of high school. You come home from work, open that door, and you see your child in tears and in pain. They open up to you. They admit they're being ridiculed, they're being tormented, they're in hell, and they don't think it's going to stop. They're being bullied. What do? In my rage, I head down to the school. Meet with the principals, I meet with the teachers, I want answers. Well, I'll get them. It's happening online, it's anonymous users, and it's outside of their jurisdiction. Well, in frustration, maybe I'll go after the titans of that internet age. Boys over at Google, Zuckerberg, demand something. But the reality is, there's not much they can do, and it's not their fault. So out of desperation, maybe I'll put my arms around my daughter and I'll pull her back out of the digital sphere. That'll help her. That'll only make her a bigger pariah long term. So what do? I don't know. I've got no freaking clue what I'm supposed to do. But I do know this. It's a horrible time to realize that I'm staring at a digital gap. And on the other side of that digital gap is my daughter's life. I don't understand it, I can't relate to it, and I don't have access. What a nightmare. And we're just talking about cyberbullying. We all know over the years, our children will get access to the worst society has to offer online. For us to have any real ability to help them with their well-being and safety, we must be technically fit to parent. So what do I mean by technically fit? We have to be prepared. We have to be in the right place, the right time, like our parents were, contextually prepared to guide, mentor, and enable. Otherwise, this gap will alienate us from our children. Every generation's had a technology gap, and it's not been that big a deal. I get that. But those technology gaps were one of preference. What music you like, what format you like, what you listen to it on. This is a gap on the way people understand, relate, communicate, and experience life. And the scariest thing about this gap is left unaccounted, unlike the other ones, it widens over time. How horrific for a parent. Now, I know many of you are technically savvy. You use Facebook, you tweet, you watch TED, you do all these great things. But at the heart of it, you're a technical tourist. You're a digital tourist. I am. I choose my technology the way I choose my vacations. Will I enjoy it? Is it good for me? Is it a good value? It's a fine way to choose your technology. But the children born now are digital natives. They're born into an always-on, always-connected world. They don't think of technology as a tool. It just is. It's the first place they go to solve a problem. It's the first way they go to have a relationship. They will not know another way. The impact of this gap was made clear to me recently. A friend of mine, his 11-year-old daughter, signed up for a Twitter account on her own, started following some of the singers she enjoys. Her father finds out about this. First, impressed. Look what my daughter did. Then he saw the content. And he was horrified. Look at what my daughter did. Being a digital tourist, he saw his answers in one of two ways. Block, allow. Is Twitter safe? Yes or no? Answer the question. End of story. And that's what he did. He placed the edict down, not safe, literally having no idea the multiple ways she can access this environment. But he put it down. And there are studies that just punctuate this. 50% of teens with social media accounts did so without their parents knowing about it. In that same study, really showed the gap. 50% of the parents polled didn't know their teens could do that. What a gap. So what do we have? We've got digital tourists trying to govern digital natives. Tourists governing natives. Forget parenting. You can't govern. The problem before us today is one of immersion. If you immerse yourself into this world, it becomes blatantly obvious how to protect, how to enable, how to parent. For those of you who's deep into Twitter, you knew he had more options than yes or no. He could have changed privacy rules. He could have shared the account. He could have ushered her through a very safe experience. This could have been a massive learning experience. Instead, it set the stage for future hiding in the digital world. Because after all, our end goal is not to block or prevent as parents. None of us signed up for that. So how do we close this divide? Well, tourists will not be welcome. You're going to have to immigrate. You're going to have to become one of the natives. And like any immigration throughout history, physical or mental, it doesn't happen easily. You have to make the effort to cross this chasm. You have to adopt. You have to change. And it will take struggle, but it will be worth it. So I thought about what advice could I give as I ventured down to immigrate myself. I came up with 4 things that I feel we have to do. And these just will start you off, and then you'll see many more. The first and most important, and if you don't buy into this one, don't do the rest. Understand there is a gap. It is not a statement of how technically brilliant you are or your IQ. This is one around culture and behavior, and it is there, I guarantee it. Once you get that, the second one's pretty obvious. We have to start augmenting our technical decisions, which is scary as all get out, by what the natives are doing. We have to look at the trends, we have to look at where they're going, and we have to join them in that. And if we don't understand it, that's the one we really got to become part of, which today as a tourist, you do the other. Third, use technology to relate to your child. You've got that 4-year-old kid asking why? Take him to Wikipedia. Show them why. Start to show the value of technology, my parent, and me. Start to show that. Which leads us to the 4th item. Be a shepherd to the online community, not a gatekeeper. When you think about, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this, figure out, can I mitigate the risk? Can I reduce the chance of harm? If your answer still comes back, no, we got to block this. Take it very seriously, because you will have to say no to some things. But be very careful, because every time we say no, that's a chance that a kid may go around us and face the thing we were worried most about by themselves. Now, these are just 4 basic steps, and you'll find so many more, I'm sure. But outside the obvious benefits to your child, we are the ones that reap the biggest reward. When that digital gap gets traded out for a digital bridge, that bridge could last a lifetime. You could be the most connected generation of their children in history. My daughter's 7 years old. She is everything to me. If I could take steps now to guarantee I keep that relationship for the rest of her life, I'd do it. All I've got to do is close this gap. I'll find a way. So I've talked enough. I'm going to go do. Take care.